Good morning and welcome. I'm Karen. This is Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. Today is Tuesday. I missed yesterday, woke up late. Those things happen. So let's get started. It is our daily reading. I hope y'all are doing fantastic as well. Since it is Tuesday, using the tarot of the shadow realm and the radiant wise for clarifying. So let me give it a couple more shuffles. Let's see. What do we need to know? Current situation. Oh, the sun. Present influence. Death. I like that. They're kind of facing away from each other, but I kind of like that. Future influence. Four of coins. Unexpected. That's two of coins. Challenge. This is Ace of Cups. Strength. King of Cups. Interesting. Where does this lead? The Tower. Ooh. Knight of Swords. That's a dark card. And Nine of Swords. Oh. And then Ten of Swords. That's interesting. But I'm going to leave it there. But I like that the 10 is following the 9. And it could mean that the anxiety is over, right? The 9 of Swords is over. But we'll talk more about that. 8 of Coins is at the bottom of the deck. So that means this is something like, again, the 8 of Coins is about what you're mastering, what you're trying to master, what you're trying to work on. It seems to me that maybe there's changes that are happening with that Death card that might be influencing this sun, this joy, this happiness, maybe that you're feeling right now. If you're not, this is what you're aspiring. But I think the Death card, this is the Death card, is the work you're doing for that. But I do feel like once you grab a hold of this influence, making those changes, you're bringing more joy into your life. And that's why the sun is in there in the current situation. I also do like the Four of Coins in the future because you're hanging on to that idea instead of like giving up. You're holding on to it and going to continue to work through it. There is some stuff over here, right? With the Tower, Knight of Swords, Knight to the 9 to the 10. But I don't know. We'll see. Let's do the Death first, please. What is the Death in the present influence? 10 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Sun. Yeah, so there is like I do not feel like this Knight is necessarily somebody. I feel like the transformation is you understanding it's you understanding the stability, like not leaving the stability, but that you have to work within the power of what you need, your home, your money, and find the joy, which to me that's the Knight of Cups to the Sun, because there's something here that you're like, okay, I have got to make this all work. So that if there's something that you feel like is getting in your way, you have to somehow put that into play and make it work to bring in joy. Like, okay, so let's say you're kind of not really happy with your job. Well, if you focus on that you're not happy with your job, then it's harder to find the joy in your day to day. And I think that's what you're doing. That's the transformation. I have to work with this. I have to figure it out um, before I can find that. Let's look at the sun. What is the sun in the present or the current situation, please? What is the sun in the current situation? Sun, High Priestess, and Empress. Yeah, I mean that's taking care of yourself. You understand that. I feel like this is, yeah, you are in a place where you absolutely, with the High Priestess and the Empress, 2 to 3, like those are, major 2 and then 3. Um, I think this is like you stepping into yourself. So it doesn't have to be feminine, okay? So that you have that high priestess understanding yourself, the empress, I feel like it's taking care of yourself. Um, and once you start doing that, then you can embrace more of the joy around you and within you. More importantly, I feel like it's within you. So let's keep going. We've got the 4 of Coins in your future influence. So this really is, I feel like, understanding and bringing together everything you've learned. So if there's things that you have been learning along the way, this is not helping. You're holding on to it. You're going, okay, I'm collecting the knowledge of working through this. I really like that the death is going here because it's the understanding that you are going to hold on to these changes and not just hold on to the changes, but to the process of change and growth. And that is what you're hanging in there with. There also could be like an idea that you're hanging on to, but I'm not seeing that right now. Is there anything else we need to know about the 4 of Coins? Anything else we need to know? The Fool, Page of Cups. Going from Cups to Pentacles, there's something about the combination between doing what's important and doing what you love. But I feel like this, the journey here with the Fool to the Page of Cups, taking, that I feel like this is what you're holding on to, is understanding that, yeah, you are the one that has to provide this. You're the one that has to take that leap. You're the one that has to give to yourself here to really embrace not only what makes you happy, but what keeps you, fed, clothed, housed. Your stability parts that you still. But I feel like with that Queen of Pentacles too is really taking charge of that as well. And I do like that you're holding on to this. We have the 2 of Coins in our unexpected. So I feel like this is unexpected in the fact that you're actually working through putting this into play. The balancing, this 2 of Pentacles is about balancing your different life areas. Can't spend all your time worried about work, can't spend all your time worried about fun and happiness. You've got to embrace fit more things in the day, balancing all of the things: work, home, love, family, self-care. There's so much and it's not easy. But I feel like what this is saying, we'll clarify it, but I feel like you're surprised that you're able to do this. King of Swords, King of Cups, and 5 of Swords. Well, yeah, it's balancing. Okay, so here's the thing here. There is something here, and I do not believe these are people. I just don't. I feel like this is attitude, because we're talking about a 2 of Pentacles here, and there's a King of Swords, which is having your eyes set on something, having really not very much emotion. King of Swords are very blunt, and very straightforward. And then you have the King of Cups, which is the energy of kind of just going with the flow, easy going, very loving, very caring, very empathetic, very easy. And the King of Swords is not so easy. Um, and then there is the Five of Swords here, which is kind of like like you feel like you have to, the balance is, I don't want to have to fight for one or the other. I want both. I want to be able to be focused, but I also want to be able to go with the flow here. I want that balance, and that's the fight. And I feel like that's why it's unexpected, because you've been working through this for a period of time. And then you have the Ace of Cups in your challenge. I feel like the challenge is the kickstart. Like the Ace of Cups is an energy of a beginning, right? Nabbing an opportunity. And this is an opportunity of caring, love, creativity. But I feel like the challenge here is you, again, going back to that Two of Pentacles, like you are surprised that you're able to balance that energy, but it's not easy with this Ace of Cups being in the challenge. It's hard. How do I start this? How do I begin this? How do I, really deal with this? Because then the King of Cups is in your strength, which it's reminding you that being easygoing and not so direct and not so um, I want to say stubborn to some degree, but having so much, straightforward, that you're not looking around you, that tunnel vision, that the King of Cups energy within you, that energy of going with the flow, being easy, is going to help you move forward. Because when we are so focused on something and then we get hit with a tower, which is coming, it's very hard to switch gears. When you're more in a King of Cups mentality, you embrace I'm going to just have to go with the flow here. I don't have a choice, because the tower is a non-choice. The tower happens. We don't make it happen. We don't choose to have it happen. It happens. Whether it's good for us or not, that's not the point, is that we're not usually prepared for it. It's not something that we want. So I do feel like with that tower coming in, that this King of Cups in your strength is going to be being important, really going with that flow, um, embracing that part of your personality, and your also your intuitiveness too as well. So it goes from the Tower to the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. So the key here is, what is that Ten of Swords and what is that Nine of Swords? Why are you stressed? Why are you anxious? The Tower tells me, because having the Knight of Swords following that Tower, is that there is going to be something that comes in after the Tower, and it is going to stress you out. So what is this Tower and what is the Knight of Swords? So let's take a look at the Tower first. Tell me about the Tower and where this leads. That was the Seven of Wands. Tell me about this Tower. What is this Tower card? What does this mean to the reading? I feel like, it honestly could be a good change, just because with the Death card there, I really like that Death card a lot. Tell me about the Tower. Ooh, Six of Wands, Knight of Cups, Lovers. Well, for some of you, a partner could be coming in. Some kind of, the Tower is a recognition, and it could be from somebody. Maybe, honestly, I don't feel like this is part of the reading, because I feel like what you're working on here is all very much with you, not another person. I am not getting relationship at all, except for here. So I feel like maybe not, this is going to surprise you, because the work you've done allows someone to come in and recognize you as a viable partner. And it's expressing that with that Knight of Cups. And that's a change. That's the change. I feel like this is somebody this time. I do, because it leads to the Lovers. It goes from the recognition. And if you look, you've got the Six of Wands moving forward, the Knight of Cups moving forward into a partnership. Now, it could be a partnership, a friendship, but I feel like it's really important, and it surprises you. That's the Tower, This is a change where you are going to be recognized here. I would say in the next few days, this will come to pass. And I feel like that's what the Knight of Swords is. So that Knight of Swords, tell me more about the Knight of Swords, please. What is this Knight of Swords? Knight of Swords. Fool. Eight of Wands, the Tower. This is some, yeah, this is coming from the Tower. Yeah, this is the change. So, I would say, yeah, there's an opportunity of some sort, whether this is love or whether this is an opportunity of any kind. Um, but the Tower, okay, so when the Tower comes in with those other cards, the six, the Knight of Cups to the now Lovers, this is you deciding whether you want to take that chance, and you do with the Eight of Wands. The Fool to the Eight of Wands, taking a new opportunity about this Tower moment. So this change is you deciding whether you want to take this opportunity or not. However, it does lead to a little bit, so you're moving forward with it. And then we have the Nine of Swords to the Ten of Swords. What is the Nine of Swords here? Because I find that just really interesting. But sometimes, you know, when something comes in and changes our life, it can be very stressful. What is the Nine of Swords, please? The Empress, the Judgment, and the Page of Swords. Oh, yeah, you know, I mean, I feel like there's some kind of renewal here with, you know, coming from the work that you've done, the Empress, you know, really taking care of things. And there is, you know, some kind of rejuvenation, renewal of some sort. But what it comes from too is the Knight of Swords is the epiphany here. So the epiphany is what's bringing you stress for some reason. And maybe it's the idea of something starting over again. And it could be going back to prior to this work you've done with the death, maybe that you're worried about that. So keep in mind the Nine of Swords is about anxiousness in general, is usually worried about the future that hasn't come. What ifs? What's going to happen? You know, that worry for the future. Tell me about the Ten of Swords. What is that? I think that Ten of Swords is the Nine of Swords ending. Like you're going to have that moment, and maybe even, you know, for a little bit. When I say a little bit, this is a daily reading, so it's a day or two, right? But then the Ten of Swords comes in. Tell me about the Ten of Swords. The Justice, the Seven of Swords. Yeah, the ending is coming from. I feel like you're going to learn something here. And I think this is going to help the anxiety piece because you're going to learn something about maybe something that you weren't understanding, or you felt like someone might have been not being honest, or deception, you know, that. But the judgment before, or the justice coming before that, tells me that you're going to learn about it. And then with the Nine of Pentacles here is, I feel like what's ending is this piece because you're going to learn about something. And I think what it leads to is that Nine of Pentacles, which is understanding what you have in front of you. So the Nine of Pentacles is about independence and right and success and all of that. But also I see it a lot as someone understanding what they have in front of them or what's in front of them, whether it's something that they just need to notice or whether it's something that they worked for and have. So it can go either way. It's not like, you know, the Nine of Pentacles is always XYZ. Not for me anyway. Okay, I didn't pull an advice card. What is the advice, please? Oh my gosh, my eyes. Seven of Coins. So this says don't stop doing the work. So the Seven of Coins, and I talk about this on occasion, is about, the crop. You work through it. You have to keep after it. You have to water, fertilize, take care of your crop to see if it's going to bloom, so to speak, or, give fruit. Um, and it also takes patience, but it's a constant battle, right? It's not battle. It's a constant, you have to constantly give a garden or anything that you're trying to grow attention. It doesn't mean you have to focus on it 24/7, but what it does mean is it's a daily routine. I gotta water, I gotta check it, I gotta prune, I gotta weed, I gotta do these things on a regular basis. It's like, but you don't but it doesn't have to be on your mind 24/7. It's just something that you want to keep working through and on. And that's what this is telling you. Keep working through this. Keep working on this card. This death card is huge right now. If you're in the process of working on transformation and changes to yourself in your life, attitude, whatever it is, keep doing this work. Don't let it go. Don't get disappointed. Don't let something else throw you. Um, Especially if this tower moment surprises you. I don't think it's a negative tower. I don't. I feel like it's just a shift in energy. Like it's surprising, and it's not, you didn't make it happen. It's happening, and it does surprise you, and it is sudden, but it's not necessarily negative. But anytime something comes in that's sudden, we kind of, we get a little bit, "Oh," and that's why we have Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords. I do feel like with this is really important. Just really keep working on those changes you're investing the time in yourself, and keep doing that. Don't stop, because no matter what happens, good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't matter. The more you work on yourself, the easier it is to deal with things that aren't quite right. You can deal with them in a more present mindset, instead of stressing or worrying or freaking out. I'm going to say that, we all do time to time, but this helps you get through these tower moments, these changes in our lives, because life is one thing that it's not, is doesn't sit still and doesn't wait. You have to go do, so don't give up on those changes. I think that's really important. So there's your reading for today. I hope you liked it. Let me know. Thank you. Take care. Have a beautiful day.